So, Sir Hans, allow me to...
Hold on, Sir Ulrich. If you think everything is settled between us, and we're going to act like nothing happened, then you're mistaken.
Sir?
You were going to have me executed a short while ago. I expect a proper apology.
Then please accept my apology once more, sir. But given the circumstances...
Given the circumstance? What circumstances?
Sir, poaching is a capital offence.
And are you the king? That you can hand down death sentences? No, you are not. What's more, you had plenty of reasons to realise it wasn't a good idea.
Sir, I could not have realised that.
You couldn't have realised? Yes, you could, but then you wouldn't have been able to play the Lord and stage private executions.
Sir, once more I apologise. And now, please allow me to show you to your quarters.
I wouldn't dream of inconveniencing you. I'll find my quarters by myself. Henry, once you're done with that annoying fool, get your horse and we'll meet at the gate.
Well, it seems Lord Capon will not be requiring my services anymore today.
Don't be surprised. My lord doesn't take kindly to those who insist on putting a rope round his neck.
I understand. I expect no one does. In any case, we'd have it a lot easier, your lord and I, if his behavior weren't so redolent of a bandit. Nevertheless, welcome to Trusky, the finest and biggest castle you shall ever see. Rumor has it that the castle was built on the jaws of hell, and that we're sometimes plagued by demons here. But don't believe a word of it. It's just idle talk to excuse the servants' laziness and incompetence. It's demanding enough keeping everything here running smoothly without any of that. It requires a man of exceptional qualities and talents. By the way, this place is a maze for strangers. It's very easy to get lost. The jail cells are down there. But I believe you are already fairly well acquainted with that part of the castle, aren't you?
Seems like you're in a good mood. Ulster's not troubling you anymore.
I'm better, thank you very much. But you can keep that little matter to yourself. Here it is. You'll find a bed inside, opposite the door, and a chest where we put your belongings. You'll find some new clothing there, a little gift from our gracious lord, to ensure you're not mistaken for a beggar again. Once you're settled in and properly dressed, stop by the stables. They're beyond the gate, down the path. Ask for Kabat. He was supposed to prepare a horse and tack for you, or tell him you'll keep your own if you insist. Then he'll give you proper tack at least, so you don't disgrace us.
Thanks. I'm grateful.
As you should be. So, you and I are finished, and I can finally attend to some proper work, so this castle doesn't fall on our heads.
premonition.
I've got a barrel of ale at home. I'm afraid it'll go about that.
Aye. I'm in a right bind. But what are friends for if not to help each other?
Great! Go ahead and tell Franz and Vashek to...
My God. Why are you all covered in blood? What do you want?
While exploring the region, I came across several graves of your men.
Ah, yes. Captain Thomas and his men were not the only ones not to return. At least we know what happened to them. Here. Something for your trouble.
So, Master Chamberlain, are you feeling better?
I don't want to hex it, but I'm a lot better. I even managed to finally lie down and close my eyes for a while.
That's good. It's a sign that your humours are back in balance. But you have to keep taking the medicine, otherwise you risk another collapse.
I'll be careful, thank you. And here's a small token of my gratitude.
Is there any work around the castle I can help with?
Well, there's the issue with the demons.
Demons?
Quiet! I don't want to cause a panic, but yes, unfortunately. Once again, devils are wreaking havoc at Trotsky.
You mean horned ones? From hell?
Do you know any other kind? I'm preoccupied with tasks from Lord von Berghoff at the moment, so I don't have time to deal with it. But I suppose you could do it? You and that friend of yours have a lot to make up for.
You want me to get involved with hell itself? At least tell me more about it.
Ah, you know the times we're living in. War, bandits. The devil took advantage of the chaos and sent his hellspawn here. The castle is built upon an ancient, though fortunately extinguished, fiery moor. It's no wonder it's so close to hell. The spawn of hell shows up here from time to time, and I want you to improve your standing with me and help me out.
Let's get to the heart of the matter. Just tell me what needs to be done.
Our cooks, Manietta and Berto, were complaining about the creatures running around their kitchens. Ossiner, the castle blacksmith, was also blabbering something of the sort as well. The good news is it's only 3 people, for now. We have to act quickly to prevent the panic from spreading any further.
What did you do about it in the past? I reckon this isn't the first time you've had to deal with it.
We usually cleansed the infested places with the help of a priest or an apothecary. Except for that one year when Sir Otto himself faced Lucifer in the Maiden Tower.
Ah, of course.
In any case, you'll have to ask Manietta and Berta, or the blacksmith perhaps, where the demons are coming from, and then simply make sure to get rid of them for good. You understand? I'm sure both the scribe Erazim and Father Nicodemus will have something to say about it as well. The question is if you're up to it, or if I should call in someone braver.
I'm ready to scour the castle and try to chase those monsters away. Could you arrange for me to be able to go wherever I want in the castle, without anyone chasing me out?
Very well. You can move freely about the castle while completing this task, but don't stay any longer than necessary in otherwise forbidden areas. I'll let the guards and servants know discreetly. If anyone asks, tell them you have my permission.
You said something about a priest and an apothecary. Should I pay them a visit?
We've always used either holy water or magic water from the apothecary to get rid of those hellish creatures. Which one would you prefer?
I reckon the holy water is more likely to work against demons.
If I recall, it was blessed by the bishop himself during the Easter Vigil. I believe you can do it. Should the demons attack you, just run away. But don't make too much of a ruckus, or you'll cause a panic. God be with you. What is it? Did you drop something?
I heard something. Did I imagine it? Fuck it.
made worthy of the promises of Christ. Pour forth, we beseech thee, O Lord, thy grace into our hearts, that we, to whom the incarnation of Christ, thy Son, was made known by the message of an angel, may by his passion and cross be brought to the glory of his resurrection. Through the same Christ our Lord. Amen.
What's going on? You're all covered in blood, lad.
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
I'd like to hear some news from the world.
Fine, but it'll take some time.
The angel of the Lord declared unto Mary, and she conceived of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary. Mary said, Behold the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done unto me according to thy word. Hail Mary. And the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. Hail Mary. Pray for us, O Holy Mother of God, that we may be made worthy of the promises of Christ. Let us pray. Pour forth, we beseech thee, O Lord, thy grace into our hearts, that we, to whom the incarnation of Christ thy Son was made known by the message of an angel, may by his passion and cross be brought to the glory of his resurrection. Through the same Christ our Lord. Amen.
Ah, damn! Shit!
Come here.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
Greetings.
You're not permitted to be
I'm not
here.
going anywhere.
Halt!
What would I be looking for?
All right. You caught me. I surrender.
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything. Otherwise, we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Oh, please. Look at me. Do I look like a dishonest man? This is all just a misunderstanding.
I apologize, my lord. I must have made a mistake. Let's just forget about this.
What are you doing? Prowling about.
God bless. Holy guardian and protector of my soul, forgive me every transgression which I have committed this day, and deliver me from every craft of my enemy and adversary. May I not anger my God by any sin. The Lord.
What kind of tasks do you do for Lord von Burgov?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamberlain, he has to be in Prague most of the time.
Why does Sir Otto have to be in Prague so often?
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni, young man. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come together there. It's where they handle administration of the country. If you want to be somebody, you have to go to Prague, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but why do you consider Margrave Jobst a traitor?
And what else should I call a person who only looks out for any chance to benefit himself?
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible to keep track. But, to give him credit where credit is due, unlike our king, he's a great politician. Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on to him before he died. Yes, indeed. One day that bloody Margrave Jobst of ours is going to make it big. He might even become the emperor himself.
What does the royal chamberlain do?
I understand, lad. You're asking about his authority, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything at all about him.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain. Subcamerarius in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials in the kingdom. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and abbots in them, and appoints the royal judges.
Why doesn't Lord von Burgov free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna? He's powerful enough for that, isn't he?
It's politics, boy. Pure and simple.
I understand, but could you explain it a bit more for me? Why did they take our king captive? And why did the Czech lords let Sigismund spread all over the country like a plague?
That's complicated. Back during the reign of both king's father, Emperor Charles, the nobles gained great wealth and power. And when young Wenceslas came to the throne, he didn't have enough experience or courage to stand up to them. That's why he surrounded himself with faithful lower lords and entrusted them with all the royal offices.
I reckon the high nobility didn't like that, eh?
You're damn right they didn't. They conspired against the king and established their League of Lords. That started a protracted war, dragging the king's cousins, Prokop and Jobst of Luxembourg, into it. But King Wenceslas was stubborn. unyielding, and, unfortunately, also often drunk. He preferred to run away from politics to wine, women, and the hunt. It was only a matter of time before the lords conspired with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague, and Sigismund had the royal castles occupied by his allies. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him firmly under lock and key.
So von Bergov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. And now, they can't agree on what to do about it. I think that's why Lord von Berkhoff received your message. He's trying to find new allies among the lower nobility.
Who are among Wenceslas's opponents?
Who do you think? All the nobles in the League of Lords, of course. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Berghoff, too, so far.
But we serve Sir Hanush of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions to them.
Ah, damn politics.
On the contrary, boy. It's only thanks to politics that von Berghoff didn't send you two to the gallows straight away.
I'd like to learn something.
There's no time for it now. Come back later.
I hear there are demons causing trouble at the castle again.
Again? Is anyone sprinkling yet?
Aye. Me.
That's the only thing that works.
What do you think of all this?
Occasionally, I hear the servants telling stories that sound like they're taken straight out of a Cistercian penitential. Even Gregory the Great, Gregory of Tours, Caesarius of Heisterbach, or Jacobus de Vorgine all share a similar view of unholy forces. The devil, as the enemy of both God and man, makes every effort to seduce the soul onto the road to hell, and to harm people however he can. How do you imagine the forces of evil?
Like the sort of mud that sticks to everything, causes ulcers and tries to pull you down underground.
An interesting interpretation. I usually hear similar things from people who can't swim. Anything else?
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
Why would Nickvard suddenly be avoiding you?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
The price of such a book must be incalculable. People like Nickvard are too dumb to understand.
But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
For a nobleman, Nickvard is quite wary of his own kind, speaking only to servants.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkhove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
You said Nickvard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nickvard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkhoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know.
God bless.
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capen. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those 2 women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nickford has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's Potion Book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nickford? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall. But that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway. Here you go. Take it. Here you go. Take it. Here you go. Take it. Look what I have for you. Here, Mutt.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
God be with you.
If I sin before God, is there any way I can atone for my sins?
Well. Have you got a guilty conscience, friend? You can pay the indulgence in the scribe's box. Or you can take the path of repentance and go on a pilgrimage. It will improve your reputation with people, but beware. Making a pilgrimage does not erase your crimes in the eyes of the law, nor does it release you from paying a fine. Always keep that in mind.
I heard the castle is haunted by demons again, Nicodemus. Did they bother you too?
They did indeed. A few days ago, I was in the chapel, deep in prayer, when a spawn of hell appeared before me. Fac mihi hominium, Swear an oath of allegiance to me.
My God. What did you say to it?
I laughed in the face of the Prince of Darkness. Would you not rather renounce your slavery and return to heaven? I told him. Without hesitation, he replied, better to rule hell than to be a slave in heaven. And then he disappeared, veiled in a terrible, foul-smelling smoke.
Phew. That sounds horrifying. But anyway, like I said, I was told to sprinkle water. If they dare try that even on a man of faith, nothing else will help.
I'm glad you have faith in the Lord, and not in some old wives' tales. Now take up your task, and rid us of that hellspawn. May the Lord guide you. Till we meet again.
The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Those monsters are back again. Last summer, we only heard them scratching the walls and roof with their claws. But they got a lot more bold this time. They're leaving charred marks on my wooden spoons, throwing clumps in my food, and they're constantly leaving their droppings in my kitchen.
Don't worry. The Chamberlain is taking this very seriously. He sent me to take care of it.
My eyes and ears aren't what they used to be, but I still know everything that's going on around here. Be on the lookout for people walking arse first. That's how the demons disguise themselves, so you can't see their hollow inside.
All right. I'll keep an eye out. Where should I look for them?
They're coming from the other side of the castle, below the maiden, I swear.
How should I deal with them?
Of course. Everyone knows the demons enter this world through the flames. You have to find 5 fireplaces in the palace, under the maiden, and sprinkle water on them. Be careful to sprinkle within the width of your little finger. 9 drops, 1 for every angelic choir, and every 3rd drop must be twice as big as the ones before it.
I'll take care of it. I hope I can do it exactly as you said.
And one more thing to take to heart. The spell is most effective when performed in the moonlight. But most of all, don't forget, 9 drops.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. I truly respect your honesty. I'm in the service of a nobleman myself, and I know what's expected of us in cases like these, whether it's Nickvard's illness or political machinations over the fate of our kingdom. Both carry equal weight when spoken about behind closed doors, I'd say. I stand by my principles in matters like that.
Lord Libac's troubles can hardly compare to what you're talking about. It's really quite a trifle in comparison.
So you'll tell me then?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nick Vard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us, and I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file, I must say. He did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Oh, it's late. What do you want from me?
I'm here for some horse tack. I hear you have something for me.
Christ, what kind of mess is this again? I've got the tack ready, but I've been ordered to show you our herring first. You can take him, they said. So kindly take a look at him in the stable here and tell me if you want him or not. Take care.
I took a look at herring.
And?
A nice animal, but I'll keep my own.
Never mind looking a gift horse in the mouth, you flat out refuse to accept one. You're lost though, pal, but just having your own horse won't make a horseman of you.
Don't worry. I'm right at home with horses. I learned to ride with cumans on my tail, and arrows whistling past my head. A tough school it was.
Well, I'll be damned. I never heard such a thing before. But even an experienced horseman like you needs equipment, as you well know. You can tack him up yourself, right?
Sure. Thanks.
See you later, my friend. Look what I have for you.
You're always welcome here.
How long have you been serving in Trotsky?
Why'd you ask?
I don't know much about this place, so I wanted to ask you about a few things.
I'm not much of a talker. You'd be better off having a word with our scribe, Erasim. He's served here since the days of the previous lord.
The Chamberlain mentioned you've seen demons at the castle.
You're damn right I did. What do you know about it?
Only that they're crawling out of fireplaces in the castle below the Maiden.
I'm sure at least half a dozen demons have taken up residence in the western courtyard. If the Chamberlain didn't tell you how dangerous this is for all of us, I'm telling you now.
Of course he told me. That's why we're trying to resolve this as quickly as possible.
I'm glad to hear it. Give those demons their due.
Tell me what you know then.
You know the guardhouse with the little arena? In the palace below the Crone, over by the outer wall? Inside, I mean, on the ground floor. The place stinks like hell, day in and day out. It makes my head spin. I've seen things there with my own eyes I'd rather not talk about. I'd start the investigation there if I were you.
All right. I'll look into it.
See you soon, my friend.
Eight, 9. abomination. Shit!
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
God be with you. Eight, 9. That should do it.
My lord,
Take my things to my...
certainly.
Lord von Burgov, I've been told to deal with the demons plaguing the castle.
It's a thankless job, but a necessary one. I appreciate you taking care of it.
Are they really so much trouble around here?
They've been a nuisance ever since the castle was built. Call him whatever you want. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub. That hellish bastard certainly wasn't happy when Sir Vincent started building 2 towers right on top of his extinguished fairy estate.
I can't imagine he was.
But he soon realized it made him closer to people and that he could tempt them more easily. Many a poor soul in the lower castle has already fallen for his schemes and made a pact with hell.
Why don't you put a stop to it?
The castle is situated in a good strategic location. We have no choice but to try and tolerate Lucifer, and he has no choice but to tolerate us.
Careful!
Come here!
9. That should do it. The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Of course I do. But I don't know what to think anymore. I keep finding hair in my food. Someone hides my spices. My soup goes sour. And there's that awful smell.
Oh, that sounds terrible. The Chamberlain wants this resolved as soon as possible.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how scared people are? All it takes is one mention of those beasts and the maids start threatening to find work elsewhere. I hear the castle has always been connected to hell, but nobody tells you that when you ask to work here.
Where should I start looking?
They must be coming from the other side of the castle. Under the crone.
Bertha told me the demons are likely to be coming from here, under the Maiden.
Oh, of course she did. They've been messing with her head. That old crone's under their spell. I always knew it.
Let me guess. I'm going to have to go around fireplaces and sprinkle 9 drops of water on them.
9? Why 9? But you're mostly right. You have to douse the ground in front of the fireplace they're coming from. That creates a boundary demons can't cross.
All right. Where can I find the fireplaces?
That's hard to describe. Anyway, there are 5 such fireplaces on the crone side of the castle. Together they form the shape of a 5-pointed star, a pentagram.
Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Hopefully I won't miss any of them.
If I were you, I'd do it during the night. Even the demons have to sleep sometime, don't they?
The devil never sleeps.
And the old hag rushes in where the devil fears to tread, eh? The sooner you get rid of them, the better. God be with you, sir.
That should do it.
What are you doing? Oh, it's just water.
A little more here.
I just had a chill down my spine. What's that?
Are you in need? What's wrong with the lock? I did lock it after all.
Causing trouble and then hiding.
What are you gaping at? Me, sir.
Are you really going to make me look for you? And for such a trifle, no less.
For a moment's rest. There's nothing wrong with that. You can stand and
Could have been a
stare until
draft.
it's finished. But I... Don't talk back to me. Get to work.
That should do it.
At your service, sir.
They won't be getting past this. A little more here. Damnation!
Excuse me.
I came to tell you I took care of all the fireplaces in the palace under the Maiden. The demons should be gone now.
Thank you. But they'll be back next year, you'll see.
I reckon someone will handle it if they do.
Take care, my friend.
You silly doggy.
Now this.
Lord be with you.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What task?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Persuasion, threats. I know about them spy tricks. Deeds talk louder than words. For example, like bringing me a sword.
I'll gladly give you some groschen to buy your own sword.
Only spies pay bribes. Unless you had more groschen than a common spy would have. Then I'd believe you ain't one of them. Do you have that much?
I'm not going to pay you that much.
You want to hang on to your spy earnings, I understand. Well, you won't get another chance.
I'll think of a way to convince you.
Good to see you.
Greetings.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
God be with you. How's the watch going? About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
I don't want an invisible sword. Them are spy swords. Suspicious.
I'll think of a way to convince you.
So what? Somebody did him in and chucked him into the water.
But the river there has a powerful current. The dead man has been floating down the river forever.
Good day.
What would you like?
Show me your wares.
Oh well, what can... you do?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to do something about that price.
Well, I suppose we can try.
Only because it's you.
You'll have to make a better offer for this. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
I'm sorry.
About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
How's your sister?
Fine.
Why'd you ask?
I heard she was sick.
I just wanted your pockets stuffed with clowns.
That smell! Where's it coming from?
I'm sorry.
You don't often see a man smelling.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Certainly. Why not? I happen to have some time on my hands, and a good stretch would do me well. If you are not afraid of fistfights, I'll show you a little trick. It is actually a simple blow with the back of the hand to the opponent's neck. I was taught it by a good old Franciscan, back when I was studying. I wonder what became of him.
That sounds good. Teach me that.
But of course, it's kind of a useful little ruse. First, you kick your opponent between the legs and pretend you're losing your balance. But at that moment, you swing the back of your hand at his neck. It won't put a blow down, but it'll give you time to attack again. Now come and try it a few times. Jesus Christ.
So, how did you end up at Trotsky?
Sir Otto hired me in Prague as his bodyguard and a swordmaster for the local castle garrison. I reckon he sensed he was in danger. And he was right. A band of scoundrels was lying in wait for us on the road, and they nearly got us.
How was your company ambushed? What happened exactly?
It was well planned, I must admit. They nearly got us.
And what went wrong for them?
Hard to say. Maybe we were just lucky, and God was watching over us.
That's all there was to it?
If you really want to know what I think, the idiots lacked discipline. They rushed it.
What do you mean?
It might have come down to a single fool's mistake. I don't know. But if they just waited a bit longer, we wouldn't have stood a chance. Like I say, I thank the Virgin Mary and all the saints for watching over us.
You must have been honoured when the Royal Chamberlain chose you as his bodyguard. How did you meet?
That's simple. I was serving in the garrison in Prague's royal castle, where von Burgo was a frequent guest.
I see. But what brought you to his attention? You have good connections, I suppose.
Depends what you mean. I'd recently won 2 big tournaments, so I was invited to a splendid banquet. It was there Sir Otto offered me a position at his castle. I'd heard of Trotsky, of course, but I was still astonished when I saw it with my own eyes. Sir Otto spared no expense to build a truly mighty fortress.
Why do they call you Black Bartosz?
It's just a nickname, of course, because of my, black hair. Every swordsman has a nickname, you know? Once you win a few tournaments, they give you one.
So you're really a high-born knight?
Indeed. I'm Bartoszek of Drahonitz. My father served Emperor Charles his entire life.
Oh, sorry. I suppose I should call you Sir.
No, there's no need for formalities. Titles are worthless. A man should earn a name for himself. It's not enough to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Sorry, but we're about the same age, and I'd never have guessed you're a swordmaster.
We each have our own path, it seems. I even studied at university, while I could still afford it.
What? You're a man of letters as well?
I wouldn't go that far. I dabble in poetry a bit, that's all. I may come from a noble family, but we're not renowned or rich, and studying costs a fortune, and I didn't have one, so I had to do what I do best.
You became a mercenary.
That's right.
I spent more time fighting than studying at university, and I came out of it alive. So I reckoned that's where my talent lies.
Where did you learn to fight, Bartosz?
I've dedicated the last 5 years of my life to it. I travelled a lot and was taught by several masters.
I'd like to see the world too. But I haven't even made it to Prague yet.
Well, I haven't been all that far either. But unless you learn from true masters, you'll never become a master yourself. Fortunately, these days there are plenty of swordsmen in Prague who will train you for coin.
I hope to make it to our royal city someday soon.
If you do, go and see Master Lamprecht and give him my regards. He's a man of honor and a peerless master of the longsword.
Can we fight?
As you wish. Practice or the real thing?
I want real weapons, not wooden ones.
How many opponents do you want?
Ah, this isn't my first time. I can handle 3.
All right, let's get started. I'm out. You want to try me?
Stop! I give up.
Fucking hell!
For glory!
I surrender. But don't let it go to your head. I'll even the score next time.
We'll see about that.
I'm done for today. I reckon I'll be bloody sore tomorrow.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Why not? If you have a bit of time, I can teach you something. As you can probably figure, I like the longsword because it's beautiful and an absolutely nimble weapon. Our grandfathers didn't use them, but today in Prague, everyone is tripping over themselves to learn how to fight with one. I'll be happy to show you how to handle it better. What do you say?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
As you wish. The first thing is to realize a sword has 2 blades, and thanks to your second hand on the hilt, you can quickly spin it around and hit your opponent's head. These are exactly the techniques that make the longsword an extremely deadly weapon. Now come and try it a few times. I'm sorry.
Here, Matt.
God bless you.
Good's a bow to you, for God's sake. What a waste of money.
Didn't you hear that?
Oh, where's that damn gravedigger?
Privies for the guards. Did he make a mistake? Or is he just messing with me?
Greetings to you.
You must have been wrong about those demons. The place you described to me was just a shitter.
You're right. My bad. I realised as soon as you left.
You were bored, so you made up the whole story.
Oh, come on.
I don't have time for your stupid jokes. You'd just be leading me on again.
I wouldn't dare. But suit yourself. Just don't be surprised when one of the demons comes back to bite you in the arse. What would you like, friend?
And with you? I'm sorry.
You must be Nick Vard, eh?
Oh, where's
Poor
that
wretch.
damn gravedigger? Ugh, it's starting to stink. Leave that body alone right now and surrender.
Mercy! I surrender!
Are you out of your mind? What did you want to do with that body? No, shut up. I don't want to know. You have no respect for the dead, and you'll pay for it. Once we get that dealt with, I'll search you to see if you've stolen anything.
How dare you? A man of my standing is always in the right.
Oh, I apologize, my lord. I must have made a mistake. Let's just forget about this. Another senseless death.
How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn cradle?
Ugh, it's starting to stink. Oh, where's that damn gravedigger? Another senseless death. Huh? What? I must be mad. Fuck it. Another senseless death. Where's that damn gravedigger? Stop fooling around with those stones. Who's there? What? What's that? Fuck it. My, what a beautiful horse. Stop fooling around with those...
Isn't it? Wow, that's nice now. Greetings to you.
Good afternoon.
What do you have for sale?
Yeah. Maybe next. Time then. How can I help you, sir?
What do you have for sale? I'd like to do something about that price.
Very well.
Do we have a deal?
You really won't convince me like this. Finally, a reasonable sum. I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
Good boy.
Good to see you.
Greetings, Master Guard. I took care of those demons. They shouldn't be a problem anymore. I've still got chills down my spine thinking about those screams.
Hopefully things will quieten down again for a while. Most importantly...
I decided to help Ossiner as well. I can still smell that stench everywhere.
He got you too, did he? He tries that prank on all the newcomers to the castle.
You knew? Why didn't you warn me?
I wouldn't want to spoil his fun.
Anyway, the job is done.
Trotsky Castle, held by Sir Otto von Berghoff, Lord of Billin, Royal Chamberlain of the Kingdom of Bohemia, Chairman of the Provincial Court, Member of the Crown Council, Magistrate of the Peace, Burgrave of Prague, thanks you.
I didn't fight Lucifer like Sir Otto, but even so, the demons should leave you alone. I'm glad I could help.
And I'm glad that all I have left to deal with this month is fixing the stairs, the sedilia, and checking all the chimneys.
You've got a lot to do.
There's always something to do at a big castle like this. Also, don't think you can continue to move freely about the castle. You are hereby stripped of that privilege. Nevertheless, since the minions of hell didn't reach the castle's coffer, nor did they cut into our profits, you deserve a reward.
Does the name Nick Vard Libak ring a bell?
Yes, but I haven't seen him for a long time. What about him?
Nick Vard is lying dead outside Trotsky Castle walls, where the guardhouse privies are. He apparently overestimated his strength while, on his little excursion.
Are you serious? My God. I'll send someone there immediately.
Mutt! Mutt!
Stop that whistle! You're behaving like a child.
Eh? Huh? Ah, Laudetur Jesus Christus! Here you are at last. I've been waiting for you.
Me? And who exactly am I meant to be?
The one I have been summoning. Exorcizo te per Deum vivum, per Deum verum, per Deum sanctum.
I don't understand. What's going on?
You can't hide from me, you monstrum infernium mundum. Now you shall reveal what you withheld from me last time.
I don't think I owe you anything.
So you want to play chess again, you treacherous Draco Nefande Spiritus Mendax?
Unfortunately, Latin doesn't mean much to me.
Ah, but you understand it. You can't deny it, you shaitan al-Shari.
That's not helping.
Are you here to ridicule me, or are we going to play? Last time you didn't beat around the bush. Non te excusa, sed age.
Well, all right. We can play, but only dice. Chess isn't my game.
Aha! That's you all over. You lost last time, so now you're looking to wriggle out of it. Impostor in aeternum. Well, if Fortuna serves you better with Immundis Viribus et Satana, then let's gamble with dice.
What game would you like to play?
I actually don't want to play anything. See ya. I'm off. So, Vade and Pace and, how does it go now? Oh yeah, that's it. In nomine Jesu Christi.
What are you saying? That's the last thing I would expect from you.
Would you like to throw some dice?
What game would you like to play?
Masters.
Let's play.
Oh, Fortuna, may the best player win. Let it be now. I want to play too, you know. That's as far as I go. It's yours. If I was you, I'd take it. Well, you're not afraid of anything. Kurva! Why do I even play?
I'm off. So,
Vade in Pace and, how does it go now? Oh yeah, that's it. In nomine Jesu Christi.
What are you saying? That's the last thing I would expect from you.
Heal!
Greetings. Can't it wait till morning?
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I didn't even look inside.
You had a treasure like this in your hands, and you weren't even curious to have a peek? Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. I'll have a look for myself. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
But the essence of life from the skies didn't bother you, and now you're squeamish.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Krazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time.
Take care.
Ja!
Go!
Ja!
Good man, hold on.
What do you want?
Can you talk?
Mutt! What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Grayson, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part!
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tactics.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
Some kind of weapon?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Actually, he's pretty spot on. Although weapons were our last order of business. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
And what about your thirst for knowledge?
I realized I didn't need the university for things that are truly important. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean thievery?
Oh, come on. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
So I was right. You're making weapons.
No, it's about much more than that. We're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Gutenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerk book.
We can believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, there's something I want to know. This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in the proper ratio. How to store it. How to light it properly. And especially how to use it in warfare. Because that's the most important part, after all.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world. And now it's within our grasp.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you listen to me and keep the precautions right.
Black powder? Well, now.
You didn't expect that, eh?
We're in the middle of the forest next to a mill. Who'd have expected exploding trees?
Aye, well, never judge a firework book by its cover.
The craze will tell you that joke.
Corva, how do you know that? Anyways,
I hope the miller gives us a bit of extra coin now things has finally worked out.
In the worst case, you can go back to licking the walls of pigsties.
But next time you'll be coming with me. Farewell, and take a... Careful.
Black powder? I'd never have expected that from Crazel.
Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf.
That dog of yours? What does that have to do with the gunpowder magazine?
Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vaisarek. Hey, how did you know what we were actually doing?
I didn't exactly.
But you said weapons. How did you find out? Did we let it slip somehow?
It was clear to me the moment I saw that book. I figured the illustrations were about either painting the walls with something to make them invisible, or demolishing them with some kind of flames.
Whew! That means it's all on Crazel, and I played my role properly. Anyway, you did a damn fine job. You deserve a nickname from me, like I promised. We're going to call you Sourdough.
Sourdough?
Well, when you came here, you were kind of unrefined, grey, nothing much. But as you gained experience, you rose and rose until you've risen into a companion we need not be ashamed of. Take care then, Sourdough, and come back and visit sometime. I wish you a pleasant evening.